Yes, thank you, and good evening to everyone. Let me also say a few words on the countries we discussed tonight, and then on the overall lending and funding activities of EFSF and ESM. On Ireland, the EFSF program actually expired yesterday officially. That was the date that was fixed in January 2011 as the final date of the program, so almost 3 years. Ireland was the first program for the EFSF, and our first disbursement to Ireland took place in February 2011. Altogether, we have transferred 17.7 billion euro in 10 disbursements. And our last disbursement took place last week, Wednesday, on the 4th of December, and amounted to 2.3 billion euro. As Vice President Rehn already emphasized, I also share the view that the Irish experience underlines very well that the euro area strategy of providing temporary financial assistance against strong macroeconomic conditionality to countries that have problems in the markets, this strategy is working. As the EFSF is one of the most important creditors of Ireland, the end of the Irish program does not mean that our relationship with the country ends. We will have to monitor the country's ability to repay the EFSF. The Commission, as Commissioner Rehn said, has the so-called post-program monitoring. We will have what we call the early warning system. This is spelled out in the ESM treaty, and the idea is to make sure that countries do repay. We will have to be there till everything is repaid. The Commission's post-program monitoring ends when 75% of loans have been repaid. We have a much narrower scope, but we will be there in Ireland, in Spain, and in the other countries also. On Greece, as you heard, there's a possibility that the 1 billion euro linked to the last review might be dispersed if the final milestone is implemented. We would be prepared to do that before the end of the year, but we are waiting for that last milestone. On Cyprus, as President Dijsselbloem said, we will disperse 100 million euro before the end of the year. Let me finish by briefly going into EFSF and ESM overall lending and funding activities. This year, 2013, has again been a very active year. We have completed our funding programs for both EFSF and ESM. In October of this year, the ESM successfully launched its first long-term funding. It launched its long-term funding program with the first bond issue, and the ESM has raised 10 billion euro during the last few weeks. In addition, the ESM raised 50 billion euro this year from the auction of 3 and 6 months bills. The EFSF was also active in the long-term market this year. It raised 58 billion euro during the year by placing bonds with maturities ranging from 3 to 25 years. On the lending side, in 2013, the EFSF disbursed a total of 37 billion euro to Ireland, Portugal, and Greece. The ESM disbursed a total of 6.5 billion to Spain and Cyprus. Since the start of our financial assistance programs in February 2011, EFSF and ESM have now provided financial assistance amounting to over 220 billion euro. To put that amount, it's a lot of money, 220 billion euro, in perspective. This is more than 3 times the amount disbursed by the IMF globally during the same period. Looking ahead into next year, both the EFSF and ESM will be very active in the markets again. Sometimes there's a misconception that the EFSF will somehow disappear because it doesn't enter into new programs and because Ireland successfully exits its program. But this perception is wrong, because the maturities of the EFSF loans are much longer than the maturities of most of our bond issues. the EFSF will continue to roll over its debt during the next few decades. So both EFSF and ESM will continue to be in the market. Thank you.